Hey, hello. Welcome to episode number 96 of the People We Love podcast. I am Adam Choit. What's up? If you are new here, what I do is interview people from all walks of life, most often comedians and other artists about their lives and careers. It's casual conversation, but I also ask everyone to highlight someone they love, someone who they admire, who influenced them, inspired them, or supported them. For more, check out peoplewelovepodcast.com. That's peoplewelovepodcast.com. And the Instagram handle is at peoplewelovepodcast. And I'm on Instagram as well, at Adam Choit, my name, if you want to follow me. And it's the same on Twitter. And please remember to tap subscribe or follow on whatever platform you listen to podcasts on. And of course, 5-star positive reviews on iTunes are greatly appreciated as well. So, today's guest is a bit of a departure from my more typical guests, who are mostly either comedians or work in the entertainment business in some capacity. Jacob Helzer is a cook and aspiring chef, but way back when, as a kid growing up in Oklahoma, he tragically lost his dad at age 14. Even worse, he lost other family members too around this time. This sent Jacob into a dark place of depression, heavy substance abuse, and trouble with the law. But fast forward, and although life is not always easy, overwhelmingly Jacob has turned things around. In terms of where we connected, it was through the Facebook group Liberty Memes $5 Charity Club. This was recent, and this is a group for helpers who want to make the world a better place by giving directly to those in need. When admin and big-hearted philanthropist David Andrew Gay caught wind that fervent supporter of the group Jacob was in need of financial help to deal with some serious dental issues, David and the group stepped up big time. Both Jacob and David are true inspirations. We should just get started. Here's Jacob Helzer. So it's good to see you today, Jacob Helzer. Thank you for joining me on the Zoom. I appreciate it.
Of course. Thanks for inviting me. I don't do this very often.
How you holding up during this super fun year, though?
The early part was pretty rough when everything got shut down and nobody knew whether or not they were working. I was still working. I was getting too many hours to get unemployment, but not enough hours to make a paycheck. So it was pretty rough there for a little while. But now it's pretty consistent, working 50, 55-hour weeks.
Damn, you're a working man.
Work and family, that's pretty much it.
That's cool. We're going to get into that, and we'll catch back up to that. But let's get into the early days. Like, what do you remember? I ask everyone, what do you remember from the drive home from the hospital?
The bridge over the Mississippi River.
I mean, yeah. Is that like one of your earlier memories from like?
Yeah, that's
3, 4,
actually one of the. Yeah, that's one of the early memories. Yeah, St. Louis was where I was born, so I don't remember much about it, but that is. I remember the bridge. That's about it.
Yeah, tell me about like elementary school age. Like, what kind of kids were you? Did you have like siblings? And tell me about those days.
I grew up in a home with both parents up until age 14. I was pretty lucky for that. I had an older brother from my mother's first marriage and an older sister from my dad's first marriage. And I had a younger sister in the home with me that was both parents. We had the same mom, same dad. And as far as like childhood went, my dad was big into hunting and fishing and, construction. So that we did a lot of that growing up. So I've been around guns and fishing and hunting and tanning and all the outdoor stuff. That was pretty much my entire childhood, except for academics. That was my big thing when I was a kid. I was a straight A student up until my father passed. I'd actually been to DC and met George Bush. I was like, if you can think of Jeopardy, but with 2 teams of 4, I was the captain of something called Quiz Bowl at high GPA.
Wow.
I was really looking to do very well in life on the academic side up until we lost my dad.
Wow. We'll get to that. I'm sorry to hear that. And you grew up in like Oklahoma. You were telling me?
Yeah, like bumfuck Egypt, Oklahoma, just like some little town called Sallisaw right off the highway.
Gotcha. And Do you remember enjoying like doing all these outdoorsy things? Like, did you like it? Was it that just all you knew, or did you like think
Oh
it was
no,
all
I loved it.
right? You did, yeah, you loved it.
Yeah,
Everything.
that was when I got to hang out with my dad, and I loved going hunting. I loved going fishing. That was my gig. School and outdoors. That was everything for me.
But really, what about any other interest as far as like extracurriculars or anything? Did you were you like into music or art or sports or anything like that? Also,
I mean, I gave sports a try a few times for like football. I did football up until like seventh grade, but I would have dislocations and stuff like that. So sports weren't really my big thing because it I would get hurt too easily.
yeah, but you were doing badass outdoorsy stuff anyway.
Yeah, I was shooting guns and killing animals and learning to live off the land and all that stuff. So most of my interests were reading books, the outdoor stuff, and school. That was pretty much like my childhood.
What animals did you kill and eat?
Probably just about everything that's native to eastern Oklahoma.
We don't.
Deer,
I don't want to
duck,
know.
all that.
I don't want you to continue with the list.
Yeah, yeah. If it's able to provide food for a family, I've probably hunted or trapped it in my younger years.
But that must make you into that makes you grow as a person, become like a stronger like just having that, you know, ability to provide and take care of yourself and help take care of your family. That's like a good thing
Absolutely.
that was sounds like it was instilled in you.
Yeah, it teaches you. It definitely teaches you work ethic, and at least with fishing, it teaches you patience. So working hard, I won't go into gory details or anything, but it teaches you patience from fishing and how to respect the land that we live on from the places you go through so you don't leave a mark, leave trash behind and things like that. So, it teaches respect, patience, self-reliance. And when you're out there, you got plenty of time. So when your mind wanders, you just follow it.
Do you feel like when you're hunting or fishing that like even though you're killing something and does it feel like you're still like it gives you more of a sense of a value for life in a sense because you're
100%. That was the smaller animals. Um, it sometimes it would feel like it was too easy almost, rabbits and squirrels and stuff. But then when you get into the larger game like deer, that when you're a young boy, they're the same size as you. Uh, it it makes you think about life and death in ways you normally wouldn't at that age. And you do have to have a respect for the animals that you're taking because they are giving their life for you and your family to be able to eat.
yeah
So that was something my dad was big on, was respecting the life that you just took, even though you took its life.
yeah I don't think about any of that. I just see it on the shelves in the supermarket and
Yeah. Yeah,
and purchase it.
people get pretty detached from their food whenever they don't see where it comes from.
I 100% agree. Definitely for sure. And what about like throughout middle school or high school? Well, you said what age were you when your father passed?
14.
14. That's tough.
That was extremely tough. He took his own life.
Wow. Oh
So
no.
that was a lot to deal with at that age, and that started me down a pretty dark path for the next 8, 9 years of my life there.
Understandably.
Yeah.
Do you want to talk about the
Yeah.
worst part of your life?
That would probably be like right before, I'd say, like 17, 18 years old. That was probably the roughest, because here now you know, I was a straight A student due to graduate valedictorian of my class a year early. And within 6 months of my dad's passing, I had already gotten into really heavy drug use. So
Wow.
not even 15 years old, I went straight from, what you would want out of your child at all to what you would least expect to want for your child as a parent.
Yeah, no, that's a shame. I'm sorry to hear that, but it seems like you're doing much better now. And you said 8, 9 years. It was really, really rough on you, as I
Yeah.
could only imagine. But like
Yeah.
I'm doing the math in my head. So the last 3, 4, 5 years, I'm guessing have
Yeah.
been better for
So
you.
2017 is really when everything turned around for me. You know, I up until that point in my life, I had, I'd been a drug addict. I'd been in trouble with the law. I'd been in the military. I had been to college. I think one year I even just ran away and joined a carnival for a summer just to try to escape my life, and nothing ever really worked. And then I got,
Escaping. I
yeah,
wanted. I'm sorry to cut you off, but I just want to ask, like, escaping. So you're telling me all the things you did, but like, what were you? Where were you at, like, in your head? You were looking to escape. That was
I
it.
didn't see any reason to continue life
Right.
there for a while. It was like almost everybody in my family that I loved and respected had either died or taken their own life.
Wow.
Um, Anybody who I could rely on as friend or family uh, didn't want anything to do with me because of the drugs. So the very few who did have my back were drug addicts themselves. So it just kept spiraling and spiraling and spiraling down. And I ended up getting in some trouble with the police and went to prison for almost 2 years.
Wow. Damn.
Yeah. Yeah.
What a
And when I
crazy
got
life.
there, yeah, it's sometimes it's still crazy, but not as crazy as it used to be. And I would have to say, like, being sober is the huge difference in that.
Yeah. Damn. What was prison like for you?
For me, it wasn't really that bad. I went hungry a lot though, because they don't really feed you very well. I did lose a lot of weight though. In the time that I was in prison, I lost about 100 pounds. I went
Yeah.
from being like 300 to 200. So I was
You don't look anything close to. I mean, I don't know how
no,
tall you.
no, I'm
Yeah.
6'1" and I'm 175,
Yeah.
180.
Damn. What a transformation over the
Yeah.
course of that time.
When I got in there, I got around some men that were involved in the church and stuff, even though they were doing life sentences. I started hanging out with some of the old heads, is what they call them. And they're like, look, man, you're young. You still got your whole life ahead of you. And they're like, you got this weight on you. You got these problems back home. And I just started getting involved in the church there with some of these guys and started working out with them and stuff, dropped 100 pounds, got into some programs and got out and chose not to go back to my hometown because of how toxic my hometown is. Just met a man through the church there at the prison who ran a homeless shelter in a town that I'd never been to before, and moved there when I got out and just hit the ground running, working hard for what I wanted that I've never had in life before then.
Wow, that's damn. I didn't know what the hell I was getting into today. I'm getting a pretty inspiring story, my friend. And
Yeah,
I feel like we haven't even, maybe we have scratched the surface, but no, we haven't even gone into, you know, more of your story yet.
yeah, that would be the cliff notes for the first 23, 24 years of my life, I would say. A
Yeah.
lot of a lot of tragedy, a lot of pain, a lot of bad choices due to the tragedy and the depression. And then, you know, at my lowest low, I turned to God and talked to him and talked to men around him that are in the church and turned everything around for the better.
That's awesome. That's like a miracle, like almost, or something like that. Do you feel like
It,
that? Like where you got like a second lease on life and all these kinds of things?
Sometimes I do, because there's a few memories I have going back in my younger years where I definitely should not have survived it.
Yeah. You
And
got quite a
and
story.
yeah, I do. some people don't believe me when I start telling them stuff that I've been through because they're like, "You're only 28. How could you have done this and this and this and this?" Well, I I swear to God, I'll put my hand on a Bible. It's true.
Some of it you probably rather not have done.
Oh yeah,
A
absolutely.
lot of it, I'm guessing.
Everybody has
Yeah.
things that they would have not done had they known better at the time. There's a few things I wouldn't have done, but I wouldn't change any of it.
Yeah. What when before before your father passed and you were doing well in school and all that, where did you think did you say you would be like headed? Did you have thoughts of like college or a career or like moving
Absolutely.
somewhere else? Like where were you
I had an
planning to
uncle
go?
who was really medically bad off, and he had all these doctors that just kept giving him pain medicine and stuff like that. So I made a promise to him when I was a younger kid that I would never get involved in drugs and that I would go be a doctor. And I had already started going through programs in middle school and high school to get involved with the OU Medical Center in Oklahoma City, and had a contract with them that once I graduated high school, my college would be paid for, all that. And then it just, that moment in my life happened where we lost my dad, and it just went completely 180 backwards.
Yeah.
So I was due to be a doctor, is what I was wanting to be. That was my number one.
Yeah. So how far were you into your like, cause you said 8-9 years was kind of tough. And when you got into, when you were like connecting with the guys from the church and the prison, things started to turn around. That was like towards the end of those 8-9 years, I guess, when you were 14 and then you were about 23,
Yeah,
24.
I was, let's see, how old would I have been? 2017, 24, 25 is when
Yeah.
I kind of turned it around. And even then, it still wasn't immediate. The first 8 or 9 months when I was locked up, I still was, in that mindset of, oh, my life sucks. This is hard. I can't do this. And then I met those guys, and they gave me a different outlook on life because they didn't have the chance to live one, because they were going to be locked up forever.
And that's the big message that got through to you. Or, I mean, it's not
Yeah.
just one thing they said, but that was a big thing.
Yeah. When I started seeing guys who came from towns just like me, who had childhoods similar to mine, and, they've got 400, 500, 600 years hanging over their head that they'll never see the light of a normal world again. It sunk in.
Dude, that's awesome that you were able to like recognize that, that wisdom, that advice, those words, and really take them to heart and live them, the best you could and can after hearing them. Damn, that's cool. So tell me, I mean, catch me up to kind of, I guess, where we were and where life went when you got out of prison and up to the present, I guess.
Yeah. So when I got out, like I said, I moved to the homeless shelter, town I'd never knew. I only knew the man who ran the shelter. I didn't know anybody else, so I had absolutely no support. I didn't have a car. I think I had $25 to my name and some clothes that the shelter gave me. So I started looking for jobs, and I got a job with Chili's and started cooking because I've always enjoyed cooking. I like food. Who doesn't like food? I get a job there making more money than I had ever made in my life before that, legally anyway. And started getting a normal paycheck, like what most people would expect. A couple $100 a week. You get something to do with your time. You get to be around people, do something that can or can't be fun depending upon what kind of field you're working in. And actually, I met my girlfriend in the town that I moved to at that job. I met her at Chili's there.
What town did you move to?
Bartlesville, Oklahoma.
Okay, so
Just
you're
north
still,
of Tulsa.
yeah, so you're still in Oklahoma at that point. How far is that from where you grew up?
I'd say about 2 hours north.
Oh, and that's where that shelter was or nearby
Yeah.
originally. I got you. That's how we ended up there.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
So I
Okay.
went from a tiny little podunk town in the middle of nowhere in a bad situation to bigger town, still kind of in the middle of nowhere, in a slightly better situation, and met some people and worked hard and met my girlfriend, and then that kind of gave me the push to do better for myself. You know, when you have somebody that you're trying to impress, it definitely makes you want to do better for yourself.
For sure.
And we will have been together now for about 3.5 or 4 years come January, something like that.
That's great.
But I was working there in Bartlesville, and then she moved back here to Branson to help her mom because her dad got sick. And I stayed in Bartlesville for a few months, still working down there. And I would come up here like to Branson maybe once a month on a Greyhound, take some time off work, come up here, visit her and the kids, and really enjoyed the town here. You know, it's a tourist town here. You know, some people have heard of Branson, some people haven't. It's like if you could imagine like 1950s country music culture and add theme parks, that's like the whole town of Branson's like that.
Interesting.
We've got the amusement park and live music and theaters and all that
That's
stuff. And I
cool.
really liked it here. It's in the Ozark Mountains, so it's really pretty too. There's a lot of hills, so it's not super easy to get around if you don't have a car. But I love the area, and then I moved up here and transferred with Chili's and started working up here, making even more money, and just kept trying to do better for myself and, you know, help my girlfriend out. And in return, you know, when you're with somebody, you help each other mutually.
Sure.
And, you know, so she helped me whenever I needed a leg up, you know, and we just stayed together and worked it through and did what we could for the kids to make their lives better so they wouldn't have to live a similar life to what we did growing up. And now I work at a 5-star resort, and I'm doing pretty good out there, and I like it, and it's fun, and it's not as fast paced as Chili's was, but it's also a lot better quality food.
Yeah.
So I enjoy it out there. It's more, you have a lot more freedom in the work that you do and the cooking that you do, instead of just like a line, like put this on this plate and do that. You actually have freedom to cook there, and that was the big thing for me.
Nice.
So I've enjoyed it, and it's just, you know, sometimes it's a grind, sometimes it, you know, there's still bad days and there's still problems that arise and there's still hardship, but you just kind of got to stick your nose to the grindstone per se, and just make sure that at the end of the day you have what you need to have done, or at least started, because procrastination's a bitch.
Yeah, no, I know. Believe me. Tell me about, speaking of it's not always being easy, how you got connected with Liberty Memes and all those, and that group, and what struggles you were dealing with.
Dude, I love those guys. There's some there's some truly amazing people in that group, but actually stumbled upon it, like, it just, I guess now looking back on it, I would say with everything that's happened, it was probably divine intervention, or the universe brought us together, or, you know, whatever you want to say, because I don't really believe in coincidences. But one of my girlfriend's friend was in the community group.
We're talking about Liberty Memes. There's
Yes.
a Facebook page that's been
Yes.
taken down a bunch of times and come back, I think, a bunch of times. But besides the main public page, there's also a Liberty
There's
Memes
the community
$5.
Group.
There's a community group and then a $5 charity group.
And then there's the Patreon for people who sponsor Liberty Memes on Patreon. There's several groups.
Yeah, you guys can look them up. I'll link to a bunch of these, of course, in the description and all that too.
Yeah, so there's Liberty Memes, the main page. There's the Liberty Memes community group. There's the Liberty Memes Patreon page for the supporters on Patreon. And then there's the newest one that's been doing good on the Liberty memes right now is the $5 charity club.
Yeah, that's where we connected, and you did a good job
Yeah.
rattling all those off. You're on top of it.
Well, I've been in the groups for
Yeah.
probably going on 3 years now.
Oh,
Not
wow.
100% on that. Yeah. So
Yeah, tell me
anyway,
about that, their connection, your connection to them, and the experience you were getting into the story. I just kind of want to give people a little
yeah,
background of what that's all about, but we'll get more into it.
yeah. So my girlfriend had a friend who was in the community group, and he's like, "Hey, check out this Pizza Friday that these guys are doing." And that's a thing where anybody in the group who wants or needs a pizza on Fridays can ask for one, and somebody else in the group will buy them a pizza. We feed each other in there. Now, I've bought pizza for people. People have bought pizza for me. It's a good way to promote the liberty message. And that's how I actually found the group, was because he told us about Pizza Friday, and we weren't doing real great at that time. So I was actually bought a pizza for when I first got into the group.
You bought someone else
So
a pizza, or someone bought you a pizza?
both. I've had pizza bought for me twice, and I've bought pizza for 4 different people.
Yeah, these groups are about people helping each other with different kinds of causes, and of all sizes, big and small. Just
Yeah.
anyone who needs assistance, because we're looking to do, as liberty-minded people, in a
Hmm.
sense, for sure, is to look for solutions outside of government where people voluntarily cooperating can help one
Absolutely.
another, improve the
Because
quality of their lives.
yeah, good ideas don't require force. And if you have to force somebody to help someone else, then that's going to, at the very least, make that person not like you or the person that you're making them help. So in the long run, at the very basic level, if you're forcing someone to do something, they're going to be mad at someone.
Yeah,
And
on
that's not
some
good.
level. Yeah,
Yeah, on
no.
some level, they're going to be pissed at somebody. But
Yeah.
through Liberty memes, it's all voluntary. David likes to call it voluntarism. Uh, that's something that has been used in the group for a while, and it's just people voluntarily agreeing to help other people in the name of liberty, and it's great, and it works. It works really well, actually.
Yeah, tell me about your 3-year journey, like, with them. I didn't know that you were in the group. I just kind of joined within the last couple of months. I think you were the first. Your thing was the first thing that I supported. But yeah, tell me about your journey.
Yeah, so I've always kind of been on the outs a little bit on the political thing. I never truly agreed with everything the Democrats did. I never truly agreed with everything Republicans did. I had a roommate who introduced me to libertarianism like a year before I found the group. So I kind of had an idea of what it was, and that it like matched up more with my belief. But then I got into the group, started chatting with people, looking at the memes, reading stories, and just seeing how they acted towards people and towards the world, at least with each other. It was a lot better than other groups I had seen. They don't hate on people like you see in some of the other political compass groups. So I really like that. And, there was, I can't even remember, but there was a cause for somebody who I can't even remember now, but it just really hit my heart. And I was like, damn, that person needs help. And so I donated to my first cause probably like 2 years ago. And then I started getting more involved with the group and learning more about libertarian beliefs and the politics and how politics work and how the economy works and stuff like that. So I just got deeper involved with the group, started making friends, and then my mom's house burnt down.
Oh man.
And she's still back home in Oklahoma, and I'm living in Missouri now. I'm like, shit, how the hell am I supposed to? I can't just come back to Oklahoma, you know. And so I reached out to somebody in the group, like, hey, is there any way we can help my mom out. Her house is like opened up like a tin can, and they're like, yeah, start a GoFundMe, talk to this person, and it was David. So they raised $1,500 for my mom to put her in a new home, like in a
Nice.
matter of like 2 or 3 days. So I was like, oh my God, this works. She's not homeless. Like, and this is all by people voluntarily giving. So that day I joined the Patreon. And that gets you into the Liberty Memes Patreon members group because you're a paid supporter of the main page. And then that was when I really started digging into it, because I saw what happened with my mom, and I was like, okay, this works. Nobody had to force anybody to do this. What can I do to help these people reach more people like this and see that this actually works? And so I got a lot more involved in the page and started making even closer connections with more people in the group.
That's
And it
great.
just kind of snowballed from there. And then now I don't know if I would say I'm one of the most active members in the group, but I try to be one of the most active members in the group. I try to give to as many causes as I can. Even sometimes if I don't have a whole lot of money, I just throw $5 or $10 at it. And that's the beauty of the other page that Liberty Memes does, the $5 charity club, because that's a whole thing on its own. It's not political based. You don't have to be a libertarian to be in that group. You don't have to be a Patreon member to be in that group. And you could be a purple haired 6'5" whatever and be in that group, or you could be an alien from Mars and be in that group. They really don't care in that group who you are or what you identify as or what political spectrum you fall under, so long as that you agree that once a month you'll throw $5 towards one of the causes that ends up in the group.
Yeah, no, that's it. I have a reminder on my calendar that will remind me till the end of time to do that. It's a cool group because there's like a lot of humor, and not even in this group, but in the whole Liberty meme circle. There's a lot of heart to what everyone's doing, a lot of intention, and a lot of humor, and I think those are good things. A
Oh
good
yeah,
mix. It's a good mix.
and there's a lot of people in the $5 charity club who don't fall into the political side of things at all. So they don't always get to see the humor of the people who are part of Liberty Memes. The Liberty Memes family, there's tons of meme lords in there. They make some pretty dank memes. And, that doesn't get shared a lot in the $5 charity club until my cause came around. People went haywire on the GoFundMe for me with the brownie memes.
Yeah, tell me how you got connected. Your cause. How did your that cause? Tell people about what you were going through.
So I've been here. I'll just quick backstory. I've got a connective tissue disorder called Ehlers-Danlos syndrome. It anything in your body that's made from protein, it messes with, like my shoulders. Right. I don't know if you can see that, but there you go. The dislocation.
Yeah, it looks a little strange what you're doing. You're contorting
Yeah.
your shoulder.
Yeah, it's actually out of socket when that happens. My skin's way stretchier than it should be.
Yeah, I
My
see that.
Everything moves further than it's supposed to. You know, I can wave at you.
He's got his hand behind his back waving, some kind of
Yeah,
double jointed, triple jointed. You're like triple jointed.
yeah,
I made that up,
yeah.
but
No. Some people in the Ehlers-Danlos community call it triple jointed because
wow.
everything dislocates. Everything's really stretchy, so things don't hold together well. And because of Ehlers-Danlos, I've got some pretty severe dental problems. And this year, up until this point, I've already lost 4 teeth just because they shatter. The pulp inside your teeth is made from connective tissue, and mine, because of the disease, is just kind of disintegrated. So my teeth are hollow. And I had
Damn.
a few of them break, and one of them, yeah, broke on a warm brownie.
I shouldn't laugh. I'm thinking
No,
about
go ahead,
the
laugh. Laughter's good medicine. Laughter is good medicine. But yeah, so the last time I got some teeth cut out, it didn't cost me a whole lot of money. It cost $200 to have two teeth cut out. And then the surgeon and the dentist were like, "Look, man, you've got some severe dental problems. Like, you need to have these taken out, because if you don't, they're going to keep shattering like this, and it can cause heart problems. You can get an infection in your bloodstream that can kill you. Like, you need to have surgery to get all your teeth taken out and get dentures." I was like, 28. I didn't ever think at this age I would need dentures, let alone be able to afford it. And so I went and I was like, all right, I'm just going to go look and see how much this is going to be. And then the surgeries for the top and for the bottom were like $3,500, $4,000 a piece. And then the money for the dentures was like 5,800 and then some change or something like that. So in total, it was like $13,000. And I think I only had like $900 in my bank account. And I've been talking to some people in the group privately about, like, I don't know what I'm going to do, but I'm just going to keep trucking, just keep working. And, the whole time I was giving to causes in the $5 charity club and just going ham on promoting people's things because I know it works. And I've seen it work firsthand. And I'm like, these people are in situations that they need help now. My teeth, they might not be an immediate thing. I mean, they are, but I was like, I can save money over the next year or two, take out a loan, whatever. I'll get it done. And lo and behold, a few people behind my back, but thank you for that. They went and talked to David, the admin of Liberty Memes, and were like, "Hey, Jacob's a good dude. He works hard. He loves his family. He helps us with causes. He donates all the time. He pushes for exposure in these GoFundMe's. He's got this dental problem. Can we do anything to help him?" And there were like 3 or 4 people that did it without my knowledge, and they didn't even know that the other people were in on it either. They all, like 3 or 4 separately, talked to
Wow.
him of their own accord on my behalf, not knowing the other people were doing it.
It's because your impact.
Yeah. So one day I go to take my old lady some Starbucks at her job, and I get a phone call on Facebook Messenger from David Andrew Gay. I'm like, what could he possibly want? Like he's the admin. He's got a lot of stuff to deal with. Why is he calling me? I can't do nothing. So I answered his phone call. I was like, "What's up, Dadman?" Because it's a running joke in the group, but a lot of us call him Dadman. I started calling him David though, because he asked me to call him David instead of Dadman. And I was like, okay, I can call you David. And he's like, "Hey man, how's your teeth?" I was like, "Oh, it's terrible. I got to get them cut out. And I don't have the money for it." He's like, "Well, what can I do to help?" And I was like, "I don't know, man. It's a lot of money." He's like, "You need me to like cover like a rent for a month or something, and we'll be able to get it done that way, or is there like?" He's like, "You let me know how I can help you." He's like, "You've helped us, now let us help you." And like I was telling him, I told him, I was like, "Man, the group is not my bank. The group is not for Jacob and his problems. It's not any of that. The group is for us to help other people." And I was telling him, like, I don't want to rely on the group. Like, I should be able to rely on myself. I work hard. provide for my family. I should be able to take care of my own bills, and he was just adamant about helping. He's like, look, man, this isn't because you have been doing meth for 20 years. This isn't because you got into a fight in a bar. This is a disease that you have no control over that has done this to you. Let us help you. And I started to tear up during the conversation. I actually had to go outside away from people, because men don't cry.
Not in front of others. We can cry, but not in
Yeah.
front of others. I got you, man. I'm right there with
Yeah.
you. Only maybe in front of a close family member, certain select amount of, people, but
Yeah. Like I might cry in front of my girlfriend, might cry in front of my mom.
yeah.
And that's about it, Other than that,
Yeah.
I don't cry. Get back in there.
Not public and private. Yeah, I got you.
So he's like, come up with a number that covers everything and you let me know. So I went and got the quotes for the 2 surgeries and the quote for the dentures. And because of the Ehlers-Danlos, it's more expensive than what your average person would have to pay, because some medicines don't work right on us. So anesthesia is one of those things. It doesn't work as well on people with EDS.
Oh
So
boy.
if they were to keep me under long enough to take all of my teeth out at once, they would stop my heart by the amount of medication. So they're having to split it between 2 surgeries.
Jeez. Oh man.
Yeah. And so that made it way more expensive, where one surgery to get them all out would have been like maybe 5,500 or $6,000. The 2 surgeries ended up being like 8,000 or 8,500, something like that. And the dentures, I had to have them done by the only person in like 500-mile radius that knows about Ehlers-Danlos, because I just don't want to go to somebody that's going to be like, well, here's some $300 dentures. Hope they look normal.
Yeah, you're investing all this and time and energy and
Yeah.
yeah, you want to do it right. Smart.
So I came to David, sorry. I went to David. I was like, look, it's a lot. He's like, well, how much is a lot? Just tell me. I was like, I don't know, man. That's a lot of money. He's like, how much? I told him 13,000. And he's like, woo, you're right. That is a lot of money. And I showed him the quotes of everything and all that. And he's like, all right, he's like, don't worry about it. We'll figure something out. So about 2 months go by after that phone call, and I hadn't heard from him a whole lot in that time. And then one day he sends me a message, and this was a week after he had went to Ron Paul's house. He's like, hey, don't you live in Missouri? I was like, yeah. He's like, up by St. Louis, right? I was like, no, I'm the opposite way. He's like, ah, man, that's not really where I'm headed. I'm going the other way. So he is going back from Texas to New York, where he lives. And he texts me later that day. He's like, hey, can you go here? It's like 30 minutes north of me. I was like, yeah. He's like, what time? I was like, well, I'm at work, so it'll have to be late. He's like, that's perfect. This dude made a pit stop in Springfield, Missouri to meet me and talk to me about the GoFundMe and about what we're doing in the group and how we can get more reach and new ideas and stuff. So I actually met David Gay at a Waffle House in Springfield, Missouri at 1 a.m.
Wow.
with a few other people from the Liberty Memes group. And we chatted for like an hour, and everybody ate except for me, because I have to be really careful about what I eat. And if I don't have my water flosser or my toothbrush with me, anything I eat gets stuck in my teeth and I can't get it out. And then I have abscesses and pain. So I kind of avoid eating
Man.
unless I'm at home. And he didn't say anything at the time when I chose not to eat at Waffle House. But later on, he's like, I knew why you didn't eat. I was like, man, I feel bad because I don't know if I'm ever going to get to meet you again. I could have at least sat and had a meal with you. He's like, no, don't worry about it. And then maybe 2 or 3 weeks later, he contacts me and he's like, hey, we're going to do a GoFundMe. How much did you say it was again? And I gave him the numbers again. And he started a GoFundMe on my behalf for the cost of everything, the surgeries, the dentures, all that. And it was for $13,000. And in, I think, 4 days from the beginning of that GoFundMe being started, everybody in the group had funded it 100%.
Damn.
It was
Wow.
just, I'm still kind of surprised. Now, I've got surgery Tuesday to get the tops out, and I'm still just kind of taken back by the fact that it's paid for.
Wow, man, that's awesome. Yeah, I mean, I saw that the goal was reached. That's awesome. And wow, because the goal's not always reached so fast, or even at all.
No,
Sometimes
not
the
not
GoFundMe.
normally, no. But I blame how fast we were able to do it on the memes. I was talking with
Not on
somebody.
not on you being a great person and supporting the group over a course of several years. It's all about the memes. That's what got the cause funded.
Well, I mean, I
Both.
try to be I try to be a good person. I try to, help as much as I can and not, hurt my family in any way by the money that I donate, because I understand that not everybody can donate, and I understand not everybody can donate a lot. So I try to make up for as much of it as I can comfortably. Um,
Sure.
and I try to be a good person. I work hard and all that. And somehow, somebody has to see what I do, but I don't talk about it, and I don't post about it. I don't brag about it or nothing like that. I just do it because it's the right thing to do. You
Yeah,
know?
that's great. That's commendable, and that's exciting. Tuesday is the doing the tops. You said that's how are
Yep.
you feeling about that? Are you excited, nervous, both? Maybe.
I wouldn't say so much excited. More
Maybe not.
more nervous. I mean, I have a sense of relief coming into it now because I'm like, okay, finally, I'm gonna be able to get these teeth out and not worry anymore about, am I gonna have another abscess and need an emergency surgery in 3 a.m. because I've had that happen.
That
You know,
stinks.
I had that happen a few years ago when I was in Oklahoma. I broke a tooth in the middle of the night eating a peanut butter sandwich. It was crunchy peanut butter, so it's not like it was broken on something extremely soft.
Shouldn't tell people there's going to be more memes.
Oh yeah, I loved the memes though, man. But between the memes, the people in the group who have known me for a few years and know what I do and know how I am, between everybody pushing on their end and the memes, and David pushing on his end like a crazy man, we were able to have it funded in 4 days, and that's amazing. I think that's the fastest I've ever seen one funded that was over the $7,000 or $8,000 mark.
Yeah. No, it's a testament to you, to David, to the other creators of the group, to the people in the group, to
Oh
my
yeah, there's
minuscule
some.
contribution.
Yeah, and I feel like that sometimes too. You see those big goals like 10,000, 13,000, 7,000. You see those goals like that, and you're like, man, my $5 ain't gonna do much. My $20 ain't gonna do much. But when there's several thousand of us that are like, all right, I'll give $10, but it ain't gonna do much. When there's several thousand of us that do that, these causes get funded in
Right.
amazing time.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's impressive. It's cool to see. And also on all the GoFundMe's, I noticed I'm been doing it too. Like you say Liberty Memes sent me or something to do with Liberty Memes just to kind of promote the group too. Because I think that's the difference between what you're what David's doing, what Liberty Memes is doing, what we're doing, what everyone is a part of, versus just a standard GoFundMe that people are just trying to raise money through other means, or
Yeah,
maybe it's one that goes viral for one reason or another. Like this is more of a not those are all anything that helps people that are
yeah.
in need are
Anything that
great.
helps is good.
But this has the legs. I think what separates is the community that you've helped, foster in many ways yourself. Been a big part of. Like that's what I think is what you would know better than me. But I feel like that's what sustains the group and keeps it being productive and growing.
Absolutely. There is a lot of people who truly believe in what Liberty Memes stands for, not only as a group, but as an idea. And, you can't kill an idea. Once
No
an idea
doubt.
is there, you can't kill it. So, even when the pages get taken down by Facebook, there's still, several thousand people right there ready to continue to spread the message. And, it just takes a new email and a few minutes and we're back up and running. Maybe not with as much strength as we had beforehand because it takes a while to get everybody, on board of, hey, it's this now. But you can't kill an idea, and Liberty is too good of an idea to let it die.
Yeah. People are offended by memes sometimes.
Yeah, well, you would think with some of the ones that got made about me that I would have been offended, but I think they're hilarious.
That's
You know,
great that you have a sense of humor,
oh, I
about
told them I was
everything.
make them danker, make more of them. Somebody made one, I can't remember, but it was like a picture of the Twin Towers, and they had superimposed like teeth on the towers, and
I
then had a
saw it, I
picture of
think.
a brownie.
Oh man.
Yeah, I was like, oh, that's sure to offend a few people, but
Yeah,
I
what
thought it was
fun.
funny.
Oh, that's very creative. No, I like that. I like that myself. When are they doing the bottom teeth?
I have to heal from the top teeth fully, and they expect a month after that, but I'm going to try and see if we can get it done sooner. But
Yeah, that's
I'm
not
going
too
to be out of
bad.
work. I'm going to be out of work from December 29th to January 8th. So there's going to be some time that I'll have to heal without having to work, which should accelerate the process. But then, I'm going to have to work hard after that, or at least harder than I normally would, to try and make up for the lost income through that time. So it might not be as soon as I would like it to be, but I would say at least a month. So maybe end of January, middle of February, but on the safe side, unless they approve the insurance that I pay for, well, not insurance, my sick pay. If they approve my sick pay, I might be able to get it done sooner because I won't have to be worried about the money as much. Because although the surgeries are paid for, time off is not.
Yeah.
you know. But I'm good on that. I've been blessed this year, despite everything that's happened, despite having COVID, despite all these things that have come my way. I'm still standing, and I'm poised to be a new man come the new year.
You, sir,
You
are
know,
an inspiration, my friend, and I think it, you've been through a lot, so I don't have to tell you the importance of, of just hanging in there and being mentally tough and stick and seeing things through. Because I think by the spring, summer, things you might feel pretty good, and that's exciting. I'm excited for that, and I wish you a lot of luck with your upcoming surgeries for sure. Is there anything else that you wanted to cover that we forgot to talk about? Anything else you wanted to say about David or the group or anything like that? Otherwise, I'll let you kind of plug and promote anything you want to, and I'll let you enjoy the rest of your evening.
yeah, so I will say though, for the people who are in the group, I know David can seem like he's a nutcase sometimes with the way he puts these GoFundMe's out there, and he's like, "You guys need to come help," and all these things. He does it from a place of love, like true, like as crazy as it is, he does it from a place of love. Like that guy, like if there's anybody who wants to help people more, show me, because I've never met one. So, people get a little aggravated with him sometimes when he's bumping these causes, but man, there's nobody I've met that has a bigger heart to help people freely than David. That dude is an inspiration. And Liberty Memes, I love the community that they've created there. It's awesome. And I'm trying to get some of that community started in my area locally.
That's great.
So
That's great.
it's just been good, and hopefully it'll get better. And the more people we can get on this train, the more people we can help, faster we can get people help. So if you're in the $5 charity club or the Liberty Memes Patreon group, invite people who you think might have an extra $5 a month. Help them out, and don't forget that you can still help people in your daily life too. You might not know the guy on the corner with the sign, but he might be having a bad day. Buy him a burger. Tell him you love him. Something like that. Doesn't always have to be money. There's many ways we can help each other. A big thing this world is lacking is love and respect. Respect for each other, respect for ourselves, and love. Like those things are going out of style, but in this group I see that a lot, and that's why I stay. I would have deleted social media already if it wasn't for them.
Dude, that was all awesome. What a well articulated speech that that was. I'm like inspired. I'm ready to go out and like fucking march or do something, or maybe I'll just make dinner and watch TV. But nevertheless, like that, wow, that's just cool to hear, and like that's what draws me into the group. Even if I'm not even thinking about it, it's just that sense of community. Like again, like people have a sense of humor, but they care, and
Yeah.
And there's people out there that need help more than ever. Like especially during these times.
Yeah, and
Oh man,
$600 ain't gonna do much for the guy who's been out of work for 3 months.
no, I imagine not. But on that note, again, I definitely appreciate your time. What a story! I'm going to be absorbing it and processing it for the coming days and weeks. But it's truly an inspiration, and I wish you the best of luck with your surgeries and your endeavors. And we didn't even talk about how you want to be a chef. Like that's your kind of like long term or maybe even shorter term thing.
Oh yeah, well, right now I'm just a cook, working for my next promotion to be a lead cook, which is a step below sous chef. But the resort that I work at is a really big resort. It's the resort for Bass Pro Shops, and I work hard out there. I put my hours in. I make good food. I do the work that nobody wants to do when I don't want to do it myself, because that's how you get ahead. You do the things nobody wants to do.
Yeah.
And I'm just hoping that in the coming years that I'll have that white jacket, because that's my goal, is being a chef, man. I love cooking because that's something else that you can do for people that puts a smile on their face. Nobody's ever taken a bite of a burger and been like, oh, this is terrible, I'm having a bad day. Nobody's ever looked at their plate of food and been like, fuck that guy who made this, I like him. They might not see the people that make their food, but I know people appreciate it.
Yeah.
And that is something too that you can cater to people with allergies, people with like celiac, gluten-free, and vegetarians and vegans and stuff. I always kind of get a little excited when I get a vegetarian or a vegan who comes to eat, because we have some things that we can make for them, like Impossible burgers and stuff, but we don't cater to that crowd. So it's always fun to, stop what you're doing and try to figure out how you can make this person some food that meets their allergies and meets their requirements and make them happy when you don't normally do that. It's fun.
Dude, you have such a good attitude about all this and approach that there's no doubt that you are going to achieve what you're looking to achieve for sure, my friend. And I look forward to seeing it and maybe someday even eating your food in your restaurant where
Well,
you're the chef.
if you're ever in Branson, Missouri, for the time being, I'm down at Devil's Pool. At the Big Cedar Resorts, come on by. I'd love to have you.
Sounds good. I appreciate it. But I'll let you enjoy the rest of your evening. Thanks again, and let's talk soon and support more causes with Liberty Memes.
Sounds good to me.
You got it. Later.
Later.
So there you have it. My conversation with Jacob Helzer. That was fun. And wow, what a story. I totally appreciate his time and all the work David Andrew Gay has done with Liberty Memes as well. And it was nice to talk to someone who has killed their own meat in the past as opposed to another vegan comedian. I actually have no idea if I've ever talked to a vegan comedian specifically on the podcast before. But anyway, for everything about this show, of course, head to peoplewelovepodcast.com. That's at People We Love Podcast on Instagram, and I am at Adam Choid on Instagram and Twitter. And I think that's about all I got for today. I appreciate you guys listening. Thanks as always, and let's talk soon. Peace.